Hi, welcome for our online training sessions. So now we'll take one real-time scenario in approval management for human capital management approval processing. Okay. So the client is asking us, can you enable the supervisor hierarchy for employee hiring? Can you enable the supervisor hierarchy for employee hiring? So what is supervisor hierarchy? Supervisor hierarchy is nothing but when employee try to hire an employee, then he required the approval from his manager. He required the approval from his manager. So that also, if US1 business unit employees are hiring, then only we required supervisor hierarchy, otherwise not required. Okay, so the first condition is we need supervisor hierarchy approvals. Supervisor hierarchy approvals. Second one is this is applicable only if employee is working for US1 business unit. US1 business unit. That's the remaining business unit employees. If they try to hire employee, they are supposed to get automatic. They are supposed to get auto approvals. Okay, and we would like to go for configure this. After that, we are supposed to test this one, whether it's working or not. After testing only, we'll go for deliver for the client, right? So let's go for FSM environment, setup and maintenance, and go for human capital management, approval management here. Search for this approvals here. Manage approval transactions for human capital management. Let's go to here. Go to the tab called approval rules and which process you would like to enable the approvals. Employee. Search for this. Hire employee, manage employment, resign from employment, terminate employment, employment start date changes. Okay, when you try to change the legal employer. So for all these processes, we have the approvals. Right now, hire an employee process is there. This is what we are looking out. But right now it has been disabled, means the approvals has been bypassed. Approvals has been bypassed. Okay, but we have to enable right now because we wanted to work with this. Enable this option, bypass approval. Enable this option called bypass approval here and go for configure the rules. Click on this, go for configure rules. The moment when we click on this configure rules, we will be able to get the window where we can go for configure the rules here. These are approval rules. These are the rules we can go for configure. We can have either one rule or multiple rules. After that, we will go for set the approvals. We need a rule. Of course, we'll go for define the rule. And then we need approvers. Where is that approver supervisor hierarchy? Here, this is. Management hierarchy is nothing but supervisor hierarchy. Okay. So now let me remove this existing rules which are already available. Rule 1 is there. Let me delete this. Say yes. And this one also go for delete. And then this is what the rule which we have already. And of course, if we do not have any rule also, we can go for create. Let me create a rule here. By default, what we will see that here, if condition will find, and then we are going to create a rule here. This is add new rule. Select this option, rule 1. And then we are going to have this option over here. It is. I'm going to specify RTL management rule for employee hiring. And then this is active status here. Status is active. If at all we want to set up priority for the rule, in case if the same rule is defined with different options, we can also set the priority here. and description, validity. Here we have to specify the configuration of the rule, configure rule conditions. If we look at here, what is the rule? If employee is working for US1 business unit, it's only one rule we require. Click on this, configure rule conditions. When we are working with approval management in this window, maybe sometimes it will be a little bit slow. We have to be patient here. Click on this. Click on this particular condition, edit selection. Click on edit selection. Now what system is asking us is, you can start defining the rule over here. So what is our requirement? Based on the business unit, we would like to set the approvals. So business unit is one of the attribute, right? Business unit is one of the attribute. Select from attribute here. What is the attribute name? So which attribute you want to go for use? The people who has requested that particular requester assignment or requester role or payroll details, salary details. Based on that, if you want to set the approvals, we can do that. Right now, business unit, manager name, job position, grade, location, this all comes under assignment, right? So choose this requester's assignment and go down. Here itself we have the business unit. So the person who is trying to hire an employee, that person's business unit is equal to, select a value from the list of values, select from LOV. If you want to go for select from LOV, then it will be used here. If it is for US1 business unit, then it's going to be used. US1 business unit. Okay. So if the employee business unit is equal to US1 business unit, then this is the condition, and condition is perfect. Press OK. If the condition is this, click on this one. Click on this, then only we can find right side approvals options will be enabled here. Otherwise, we don't find here. So which approver is required? Management hierarchy. Click on this. Management hierarchy. Select this approvers. And do you need approvers, or just you wanted to go with automatic approval, or just FYI for your information only? So right now, what is our requirement? We want to go with the approvals. Select action type as approvals. Approval required. You need approval from line manager or regional manager or project manager. Because when we are hiring an employee, we'll find different managers, right? That we have seen in our previous sessions. Whenever we are hiring an employee, how to attach the managers. We can also have multiple managers, right? That in that scenario, we are going to use this options. So most of the times we'll go ahead with the line manager. Generally, line manager is used for the approvals. Approval chain of requester or workers proposed line manager or any specific user. So we are telling that we need approval from the management hierarchy. It means like from manager. So whose manager approval chain you want to use? The person who has requested the process, means the person whoever is hiring an employee, that person manager you wanted to have, or any other users manager you wanted to go ahead. So generally, the person whoever has tried to hire an employee, that particular requested's manager approval only we required, right? That's why I have selected approval chain of requester. Requester means and nothing but an employee who is trying to hire a particular employee, right? In this particular scenario. And start with the manager, employee, second level manager. So whenever the transaction is required, you need an approval from the manager or you need approval from an employee. So which version is required? So we need approval directly from the manager. Sometimes the client says that first employee has to approve. The moment if you hire an employee, then first you have to approve, then again need approvals from your manager. So that time we'll mention start with as employee. We'll mention start with employee here. And if you say that I don't require the approval from the employee, I need directly the approval from the manager, then we can choose manager. If I mention number of levels are 2 here, if I mention number of levels are 2 here, so we need approval from the manager and again his manager. We need approval from the manager and again his manager. So whenever the organizations are required like that, then we are going to use it. Number of levels are 2. So if I say number of level is 1, then we need approval from this particular manager only. Means whoever is the line manager, just one manager approval is fine. I'm specifying number of levels are 1 and start with the manager. So whenever employee perform the transaction, worker hiring, so just he required the approval from his manager only. Then top approver, who is the top approver in this particular hierarchy here, management hierarchy, we can go for specify the top approver. I'm mentioning that manager is the top approver. Manager is the top approver over here it is. Okay. So this is how we will go for configure. What we have done, we defined the rule. After that, we defined management hierarchy, supervisor hierarchy, and we specified that we need an approval from the manager. How many managers? Only one. Number of levels are 1 over here. Let's go for save this particular record. And go for submit here. Okay. So the configuration of this approvals has been completed successfully. Now we wanted to test. So what we'll do is we'll take one employee who is working for US1 business unit, and he'll go for hire employee. Obviously, required approval from his manager. Approval from his manager. Then we will go for another employee who is working for another business unit. Let's say US business unit. Then he doesn't require any approval, directly approved, automatically approved. Only for the people who are working for this business unit, if they try to hire an employee, they need approval from their manager, Okay, so let's go to applications. Currently, we have this. We'll hire 2 employees, no problem. Let me go for take this existing where we have. We know that if at all we want to work with any users, we need a human resource specialist, right? So that we don't have for current user we don't have. Let me just go for add that here, security console. Search for our user. I'll go for add the role called human resource specialist. Initially, we will go for disable the approval because we need to hire 2 employees and then test it, right? So initial approval, I'm going to disable. Let's go for approvals here. Otherwise, in the employee hiring itself, it will ask us go ahead with the approval. We don't have any employee and manager at this point of time, right? What I'm trying to do is initially I'm going to disable this approval process, bypass, enable the bypass option. Now let's go for navigator. Still the role has not applied. We are supposed to get my client groups option here. Just try with this. Yeah, we got my client groups and new person. What I'm trying to do is first I'm going to set one manager, and for that we'll set one employee working for US1 business. So let me hire manager first. So I'm going to specify some naming convention. Let's say manager has joined on 1st January 2023, US1 legal entity. First name, last name. Let's say PWC manager, KPMG. These all are descriptive flex fields. Someone has added additional fields over here. We'll be talking about those when we are working in the value sets and flex fields. We have separate sessions about that. And I'm mentioning that this manager is working for US1 BU. Let's go for submit. Now we hide the manager, but before that we have not enabled manager option, right? We forgot to enable. Let me enable that. Let's go back to employment information tab. And we are going to set he is a manager, working as a manager. Go for submit. Now we'll go for hire an employee for US1 business unit, and we'll set up that he is the manager so that our first test scenario will be ready. Then we'll go for second test scenario. It's taking a long time. Here in the documentation also you can find the rules and whatever we are working. Manager approval rules, position hierarchy, HCM approval policies, different examples we can find. You can go through, going through the documentation will always help us to get more information, more different scenarios here. Okay, so now let's go to person management here. KPMG this. KPMG manager is ready. Okay, so I'm going for hiring another employee here. Let's go to new person here. We are not getting any other location other than this. Let me check what is the issue. Only we are getting one location, Redbus, Dallas. For our business unit, let me cross check anyone has changed the reference data set. And go to here, business unit, set assignment. Manage business unit, set assignment, and choose the business unit. Now this is our business unit. I just want to check about the locations. Common reference data set only we have. So whatever the locations we have in common reference data set, we'll find those locations over there. Let me cross check. Let's go to manage locations. Go to advanced. We have the locations. Okay, so we'll see now. We'll try to choose headquarters. And now I'm going to hire an employee and set the manager. Let's go for it. I'm going to specify its KPMG employee. is also working for same US1 business unit, KPMG employee. And I'm going to specify the manager here. Let's choose the job name, something finance director, and the location. Let me choose headquarters. We are getting the locations. And here we have to assign the manager. We have to go for assign the manager for this particular employee. Where do we assign the managers? Here we can find. Okay. So it seems there is a three options has been added: employment terms and assignment. There is a concept called employment model that we'll be discussing in our next sessions. Two-tier employment model and three-tier employment model. There will find three different components like work relationship, employment terms, and assignment. That time we'll see why we are getting two tabs here. No problem. Let's go to assignment here, and here we'll go for assign the manager to the employee. We are going to assign the manager to the employee. Go for expand manager details here. And I'm going to specify KPMC manager is the manager for this employee. And whether he is a line manager or project manager. You can have multiple managers, but still approvals we have enabled only for line manager. Let's say I'm mentioning that Curtis Fitty is the project manager. No problem. So system will consider only line manager because we have mentioned specifically in the approval management, right? Let's go for complete the process. This is also flux fill. Someone has added. Now click submit button. Now, first scenario has completed successfully. We have an employee who is working for US1 business unit. For that employee, we have a line manager also. Now we can easily test. So this employee is going to log in and try to hire an employee. And if approval is required, then we'll try to get it from the manager. Then we have to make the second person also, second employee. This is required for second business unit. BU1 business unit 2. US1 BU we have done. Now this is US2 business unit over here. Now let's go for now let's go to navigator here. And let's see whether employee hiring process has completed successfully or not. So search with this KPMC. This is KPMC employee. Okay, that's fine. Headquarters. Next, I'm going to hire one more employee. That person will be working for US2 BU because we wanted to test both the scenarios, right? So let's take it. So testing definitely it will take some time, and we have to prepare this records because when we are working in the real time without testing with the different scenarios, we cannot deliver the component to the client, right? So let's say this I'm going ahead with test employee, and in the development instance, we have to create all these test records and prepare the test results. Once we are prepared the test result, then we have to go with the approvals. Here it is. Now I'm mentioning that this employee is working for US2 business. Let's go for US2 business unit. Now, second employee also is ready, who is working for US2 business unit. Now we have test data. We are supposed to test both the scenarios. First, we will go for test this. Employee one is going to log in, hire an employee, then it will not get auto approval. Obviously, manager has to go with approvals. Okay, let's press OK and go back to security console because we required the roles as well as the passwords also, right? Let's go to security console, users, and this is employee.kpmc. Yes. Employee.kpmc. This employee required, let me reset the passwords. These all roles are already assigned because those roles are auto provisioned. Here you can see that auto provisioned as yes. The moment when we hire an employee, those roles will be automatically approved here. Okay, click done button. So I have reset the password. Same thing for manager also. But employee required human resource specialist role because he has to go for hiring an employee. Manager is just need approvals, whether approve or reject, right? So if he is having employee role is sufficient. So manager has got already employee role, that's fine. Let's go with here employee.kpmg. Resource specialist. So for save and close, same thing for the second employee. For this person also we need human resource specialist, right? Because he has to hire employees. This is test. Not this employee because he is working for US1 BU. Recently, whatever we have hired employees, we can find from here. From tools menu, we'll find transaction console. Go to transaction console and remove this failed option. Status as failed by default, it will be there. Remove that. And we can find the test tracker. EMP test 104817. 104817. Client groups, person management. test.emp. That's what we have. Employee name here. Let's go to task list here and check the user account is generated or not. The account status is active and this is the username emp.test. That's the user. So we have to go back to security console. User step. Now this user, he is an employee. Which legal and which business unit is working? US to business unit. That's our second scenario. Right. So let's go for set the password over here. And he also required human resource specialist because he want to hire employees and get auto approval, right? Let's go for add the roles. Human resource specialist. I've done. So first we'll start with first user employee. We are going to start with this employee. Log out from here. Now here amp.kpmc, that's the username. Log into the applications. We have already assigned the role called human resource specialist. Go to my client groups, new person. As this person is working for US1 business unit, so whenever he go for hire an employee, he need approval from his manager. So here itself we can test. Let's say we are hiring an employee today itself. Hire date is today, and this is the legal entity. Let's say employee name is something like Kiran Kumar, and set the gender and date of birth. There is some location issue. Let me just cancel and rehead. Now we have hired an employee here. Now we can find the notification. We'll see that the action is required here. We don't find employee details here, even if I go for person management. Because still it's waiting for approvals. Kiran, right? We don't find the record. Let's manager login. Manager is going to log into the applications here. Let's log out from here. Manager will be receiving the workflow notification here. action required. This is our previous one. It's not the current employee approvals. It takes a couple of minutes time to get the notifications sometimes. We have bypassed the approvals, right? After that, we are not enabled the approval because we have hired a couple of employees for hiring purpose. That's the reason it's not working. Okay, now let's go for enable the approval process. Let's hire employees now by login with the employee user. Let's log out from here. Let's say I'm mentioning the employee as W1. The review itself, we can find the approval details. Go to the last option, whether approvals are working or not. You can go for expand here. We can see that here itself we'll find the manager has to go for approval. Let me submit. Let's log out from the employee login and we'll try to log in with manager. Now the manager is going to log in here and he'll verify the notifications here. See that action is required for an employee hire W1. Then manager can go ahead with whether approval or not. So we'll go ahead with either approve or reject. Click approve. Now approval has successfully completed. Now what we want to do is we want to test with another employee. This employee is working for US2 legal entity, right? So obviously he doesn't require approval from his manager. It is supposed to approve automatically. That's what we are going to test. So what's the username for this? emp.test. That's the username. Login. And this guy will get an employee automatically because he is working for US2 business unit. He's working for US2 business unit. You can find those details here itself. If I go to personal information, I can find the details over here. Go to me and personal information, you will come to know which business unit and legal entity is working. Is working for US2 business unit. For US2 business unit employees, we given the flexibility that you can hire employee automatically. You don't need any approvals. Let's go for new person here. Hire employee here. You can hire employee for any BU. It's not an issue. Here itself, we can find the approvers. Go down in the review tab. And last option, we can find expand the approvers region. We can see the approval history task could not be assigned to any approval here because we have not mentioned any approval option here. It's that's why it is not showing approvers. Okay. So now go for submit. So this is for auto approval options. Okay. So whenever we are working with approval management supervisor hierarchy based on some condition, then we will be going for this particular approval option. When we are working in the real time, first we have to gather the requirement regarding the approvals, what conditions they want and which hierarchy they require. According to that, we'll go for enable as per our requirement. Okay, thank you.